Good morning, and hello, strangers. I thought I'd do just a completed pages for January video this morning. I have a pretty decent stack, and I'm concerned that if I try to wait and do both January and February at the end of February, that I may not be able to reach the top of the pile. I started off strong in the month, and then I kind of fizzled out towards the end. Couple things I do want to say before I get started. One, thank you all so much for the comments on my video, or I guess picture that I posted explaining what's going on. I know I just kind of suddenly went poof and disappeared, but not that I want to sit here and talk about it for 20 minutes, because I'm sure that's not what you guys want to hear for right now, at least. But needless to say, I underestimated what would happen when I went completely off the gabapentin, and the new medication is not exactly filling that area that I needed back, the things that I needed back. It's not exactly helping out that much. Suffice to say, I am achy, I'm having bad dreams at night, and I think it's one of the new medications I'm taking. I'm not sleeping all that well, and I don't think I've been this depressed and down, even for some reason or another, having to go off antidepressants for a day or two. I mean, it's like I'm taking them, but I'm not taking them. I don't know what that's about. I didn't realize gabapentin was doing that much mood-wise for me. But I can't focus on anything. If somebody handed me $1 million right now and said, you can use this to buy whatever you want to do, whatever hobbies you want, you can invest in, you know, what do you want to do with it? I don't think I could get that money, because I really just, every day, I have lost my desire to color. I've lost my desire to really play computer games, watch anything on TV. I haven't been bored in 20 years of my life, and it's frustrating, and I've been really angry at myself this week, because you get tired of not feeling, quote, normal, which, I mean, mentally I've never been normal, but, you know, just not being normal me, I guess. I haven't been able to go work out or anything like that, and if I do find something or I force myself to do something other than just stare at a wall, which is obviously not something I want to do all the time, or ever, I can make it half an hour usually before I just get so bored I can't do it anymore. I'm even struggling with books to read, so not sure. We increased one of the beds slightly, and I'm supposed to try that for the next week, then increase it just a little bit more. So fingers crossed I will get there. It's just going to take a while to get there, and thus that's why I've been kind of absent. I just have been in a coloring slump, but really I've been in a life slump, and it's, again, frustrating, a little scary. I'm not used to feeling like this, so I don't want to be on here all the time just talking nonstop about how I feel, and nothing hugely interesting is going on besides all that, because I don't feel like doing anything else. So yeah, not sure when I'm going to be able to come back in color. I might fill up to a video here and there like today, but right now we're just going to still consider, at least until I can figure out what I'm doing with my meds. We'll just have to do it here and there as I feel up to it. So, without further ado, after all that, I did have a couple. Hang on, let me grab a drink before we get started. I did sneak in a few pictures at the end of last month that didn't make it into the completed pages video, I believe. One of them may have. I looked, I didn't see it, but, you know, if you see another one, that's a repeat. I'm sorry. One was from the African Glamour coloring book, which is by Marjorie Sarnett and Sia, I hope I'm saying that name right, Slater. I've had this book for a little bit, and I just got in the mood to want to color in it. Something a little different than what I usually color in. I used gel pens, and I think just alcohol markers, and I really like how it turned out. I believe it's alcohol markers. See, I can't even remember. I can remember songs I memorized in high school, but I can't remember what I ate for lunch yesterday. Ah, the joys of fibro, and I suppose getting older. Anyway, I really like how this turned out. I did post it on our group, on Marjorie's group, and that's one of the reasons I really like her Facebook group. She is actively involved. We are doing a Marjorie in May featuring Marjorie Sarnett as the featured artist of the month because she had a new book come out last month called Dream Horses. She's got a book coming out in March, and then she's got another one coming out in May, which I believe is a mermaid book. So, super excited for those, and I love the art in these books. So there's that one. There's my sack. Autumn Scenes. This was a whip I kept working on, and then didn't feel like working on. And I finally said, I'm going to finish this sucker. And I did. So I started out using, these are the Arteza Real Brush Pens. Just in case you haven't seen them, I'm trying to swatch them. That's the reason I happen to have one nearby. But the Arteza brush pens were used for the leaves, for the mums, and for the pumpkins. I used, I think it was just regular alcohol marker for the brickwork. And I used, excuse me, I used Distress ink and Tombow marker as sort of like a watercolor wash underneath that for the box here and then the chair. Let's see, I used Copics and I blended them on the windowsill and on Mr. Kitty. I'm really proud of Mr. Kitty. Like, the grays turned out just gorgeous on him. And then we got Mr. Doggo here as well, I believe I did with Copics. And then everything else is just kind of alcohol markers. And, oh, my cats are sensing that I'm trying to do something. That's always fun. Anyway, I'm really proud of this picture. I'm glad I finally finished it. I think I wanted to do something a little more complicated to make the mortar on the brickwork stand out, but by that point I was like, I just want to be done with this picture. Now, I was a co-host of Jade Summer in January, and while I kind of fizzled out at the end, hopefully I believe I did it justice with the number of Jade Summer books I have stacked here. So we're going to go ahead and go through those. The first one I did, and I was super excited about it, I've wanted to do it for a long time, was my Pirate Kitty. That's not him. Oddly enough, I didn't do any more in this book this month. I was so busy with all the others. This was the very first Jade Summer in January picture I did, and somebody did note that this is indeed a tin cup, but whatever. We'll just make it look like a coffee cup. But I used alcohol markers, I believe, on this, and then it was just a variety of them. I think mostly shuttle art, and then just whatever else I needed. And then I used just a little bit of glittery gel pen on some of the little details here. I love how this turned out, and I really like the fur texture on him with the markers. Springtime Flowers. This one, let me see if I can find it, because did I bookmark these pages? No, I did not, because that would require organization. I did this page along with the Tiny 10 Tag Challenge that Dollar Diva 99 has going on over on her YouTube channel. This one I completed using a 10 pack of Rose Art water-based markers. And to make things look a little different, I layered different colors of marker on top of each other to get some different greens. I scribbled them onto a palette and actually used them as a wash on these leaves and on the backs of, or on the petals of some of the flowers, just to give some different looks to the overall picture. And I think it turned out really cute, and something that I definitely have no problem putting alongside some of the other stuff that I'd put this right next to a Copic picture and be like, y'all, I like both of them. So don't feel like just because you can't afford the most expensive stuff that you can't color and actually enjoy and get pretty pictures. I reviewed shuttle art markers this month, and this was one of the pages that I was doing a demo on, and I actually managed to finish. This was right at the beginning of the month, I believe. I wasn't particularly thrilled with how this turned out. It seemed like every time I touched a marker to this paper, I got another color I didn't particularly like. I really struggled with like the pinks on her, and I didn't like her hair. But anyway, once it was done, I liked everything that went on with the animals, and so all in all, it's done. It's a decent picture, and yeah, I finished it. One thing I really tried to do was use a variety of mediums in my Jade Summer books this month, just to show that just because it's Amazon printed paper doesn't mean you are only limited to certain things. So for cute animals, I finished my first picture with actual Inktense, entirely in Inktense. And this was Mr. Bun Bun here. And, you know, I'm trying to think. This has been sitting on my shelf with a few other books stacked on top of it, and you do see a little waviness in the paper, especially if you flip it over, but all in all, it's not that bad. And I really like how he turned out. I thought it was pretty cool. I was all set to do more Inktense pictures, and then, like I said, everything just kind of fizzled out. Sorry, I just heard a weird banging noise, and I'm kind of concerned. I don't think my husband's up yet. I don't want to be awake, but here we are. I finished 2 in Baby Dragons. These were my sitting in the living room with a thing of markers kind of pictures. I have quite a few done in here, so this might take me a second. Okay, so here was one. Dang, you can see the other one. That's some marker bleed through for you. So this was done using different alcohol markers, mostly like Sharpies and Bics, and then I've got a pack of markers in the living room that's like a whole combination of my backup Sharpies and Bics and extra Prismas. Any kind of random marker I have duplicates of are in there. I also have my duplicate set of shuttle art, so if I'm coloring in there with markers, most of the time I'm reaching for those. And then I don't know why I always start back there. These are all duplicates, Michelle. Here is my other one. This was also, I don't know why my desk looks so bright right now. Well, this was also finished using all of those types of markers. I blacked out the background with a big black Sharpie and then just colored in everything else with markers, and it turned out pretty cute. I finished a whip I had going on in here, Mandalas for Beginners. This is also a Jade Summer book. While I did show some different mediums, all in all, marker was definitely the main event, so to speak, and it was the same thing here. Sharps, Bickies, you know, Sharpies and Bics and so on. I'd like to find another one similar to this in the book and do it in just cool tones to kind of have a hot and cold version. So those are kind of my pages that I grab when I really, really do want to color, but I don't want to get up from the couch. Light and Dark Fantasy, another Jade Summer book. Anne at A Colorful Life had done this one on her channel. I liked it so much that I wanted to do a version of it myself, sort of as a color along. And this is how my version turned out. I tried to use a little bit different approach just to show, I guess, how different you can make this picture look when you use different colors. And I believe this is mostly shuttle art. This is Cosmos, which is in shuttle art, I think it's number 7, is a real light pink, and I use it quite a bit actually. But I love especially how she turned out with her skin tone, her hair, her dress. I just love everything about it. And I try to do more of a nighttime scene in the background. We have a little bit of glittery gel pen on the grapes, and then on her little detail work like her sandals and stuff like that, and her lips. which kind of makes her look like a showgirl, but hey, you know, showgirls are awesome, and I couldn't wear that much makeup myself, so would help if I showed you this. Okay, Animal Mandalas, another Jade Summer book. This was the demo I did on video with the Leisure Art brush tip markers. I think I picked up 24 of them or something like that for $5 or $6 at Ollie's, and I really like them. I've used them in a number of books already, and they do really well. I was very surprised by them, pleasantly surprised, and so I thought this turned out pretty cute with the snakes. So while I have some fairly simple images this month with markers and everything, there was one I put in a lot of investment in. John at the Bibliophile Colors. Oh yeah, we're done with Jade Summer. I should have probably said that. But let's see, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 completed pages. I do still have the unicorn page that I'm going to try to finish on video, so that's kind of a whip, but not a bad run for January. And I think I blew through just about, I have a handful of Jade Summer books that I didn't color in, and we didn't get to any of the digital versions. So anyway, John at the Bibliophile Colorist also had a color along. It was a winter wonderland, I think that's right, color along, and I did this as a speed color. I mean, not in like real life. I wish I could color that fast. But what I did was I laid down a marker base and then went back over it with colored pencils. All kinds of your markers were basic alcohol markers, shuttle art, Cope. I don't think I used any Copics on here. You know, just your mid-range markers. And then went back over it with Fila pencils, Castle Art pencils, all my mid-range pencils I think I used in this, and some combination thereof. And I recorded it and then actually created a speed color out of it. And I just kind of wanted, you know, when I was a kid, my hair was a lot darker. People call me blonde now, and that's just because I get the highlights done. But my hair used to be like real true blue brunette, and then I had blue eyes. So, you know, I was just trying to make it kind of look like me if I had had a cat when I was a kid. Surprisingly, I did not have cats growing up. I know, that's surprising, but I completed a page in C.L. Aldridge's Fabulous Flowers, which I believe is her newest release. This one was okay, this color looks pretty, so I'm grabbing it picture. The purples, the pinks to the purples are actually the Crayola Blend and Shade pencils, which do pretty darn well. They just don't make enough of them, in my opinion. You're kind of limited in your color combos. I also used the Leisure Art markers on this, and then I used a little bit of glitter gel pen. I don't have specifics on those. I'm sure it included the Jelly Roll pens, the Walmart pen gears, and what are the other ones I normally reach for? There's another one in particular, and I can't think of it at the moment. Scribble Stuff. It's probably some combination thereof of those. Those are probably my top 3 gel pens that I end up using. So, shiny. Okay. I decided to take some of my books that intimidate me and do some of their title pages with different pencils so I can figure out which ones I like using in the books. Since I have so many things, so many pencils, I wanted to figure out what I do like using in them. This is World of Flowers by Joanna Basford. There's a little bit of gel pen. You can see it on the border and in the center of some of the flowers, but I mean, oh my gosh, Prismacolor, Black Widow, Arteza, Fila, Castle Art, Crayola Blend and Shade. I mean, they're the Faber-Castell Polychromos, Guanghui pencils. I mean, just about every colored pencil set I own, I used in this to test it out. And yeah, just wanted to go with something colorful. I did do a fair amount of work with colored pencils this month. I like using them. I just get to the point where I want to hurry up and be done with something. Oh, let me show this other one first. I also did a page like that in Anamorphia by Kirby Rosanas. Same approach. This had been a demo page for some of the colored pencils I've reviewed, and so I thought, well, I'm just going to go ahead and finish it out. Same thing, all different types of pencils, some gel pen thrown in as well, some glittery gel pen. A little different, little colorful. I actually used, I think it was my Prisma Neon pencils to make the little weird dudes stand out. And a lot of weird colors for flowers, but I figured, you know, obviously this isn't supposed to be a realistic kind of picture with these little dudes floating around. At least I don't see the little men. If somebody else sees the little men, y'all let me know, because I don't see them. I finished this one up the last few days. This might be the first picture I finished up in a while after I started hitting my slump. Want something a little different. This is Grimm Fairy Tales Different Seasons. There is a comic book series out there that are the Grimm Fairy Tales that this is adapted from. There's a number of different artists in this book. They are a little... The women are showing quite a bit of cleavage, and it's not all that realistic, but they still look like kind of tough women types, and so I still dig this book. This one I'm okay with. They do... Sorry about that. That was a loud car going by. They do have another one that I think is just simply Grimm Fairy Tales. That one was a little... I didn't particularly like it, but this one was a little bit better, in my opinion. So I ended up coloring her, and I used Blick Studio. Goodness. I think I went ahead and used my high budget markers on this, because, well, at least mostly, because I was like, I haven't used them in a while, and you know, it's time to pull them out. And this is, I really thought this was Amazon printed paper, but I don't see that on the back. Anyway, it's a fairly rough type paper, but at this point I don't hardly ever use them, so I was like, I'm going to get some use out of them. I love this picture. I don't know, I mean, it's not realistic, of course. I mean, nobody in the Wild West is going to have a shirt that white. But the grays actually used my Shuttle Arts, and that's where I was saying, Shuttle Arts variety of grays that they have, I love them. I don't know why I feel way more comfortable using those than my Copics, but whenever I need a variety of grays, I tend to reach out for those. So there is that one. Floral design. I finished, not that one. Did I finish two? I think I finished two, actually. No, the one after this one's the one that I actually finished after a pretty long slump. So I'd been working on this one on and off, and I messed up a little because I think I used two different pinks at one point, but it still turned out really good. This is Floral Design Colored by Number by Jessica Mazurkiewicz. I think I said that right. And then I did the page after that, also in marker, and that is how that one turned out. So far, this is the front runner for the most completed pages I have, but there are like 46 pictures in this one, so it's going to take a while. I started out with random ones, as you saw, and then now I'm working front to back. So this one with the roses will be the next one that I tackle. Winry, don't start with me. Come on, I'm almost done. Adorable Animals Grayscale. I colored this one as, this is by Jane Naday. I colored this one. This is going to be a gift to someone. This is another one where I think I just used any marker that I thought would look nice. I used my Prismas, my Copics, my Shuttle Arts. I mean, just whatever. If I liked the color, I grabbed it. I did use some pencil on the blackberries, I guess that's what this is, to give them a little bit of, so that some of the white part of it, the shine, would actually show through a little bit. I did use colored pencils on that, so I think that was the only spot. But it turned out really nice, and I just have to get a frame for it. And finally, we have Crayola's Whimsical Escapes. I think this is the one I'm having a hard time finding now out there. Elegant Escapes is still on Book Outlet, but I'm having trouble finding this one. So I actually really dig their books. They have 80 different drawings in here, and some of them are kind of just throwaway patterns, but you know, just one random pattern ones that would probably be good for testing. But overall, they've got some really cute pictures in here. Like, I did that one in December, I believe. I like this one. This one has a lot of really cute cat pictures in it. This was a page I created, or I colored using the Leisure Art markers again, just to try to test them out. And then this is kind of moving into February, but we're going to go ahead and count it. I grabbed this one a couple days ago. I just wanted to put some color on some paper, and this was cute with the little mouse and the cat, so I just grabbed some markers and went with it. This paper is interesting because it soaks in the markers, like it really sucks up the ink in the markers, and it can't be just the markers I'm using, because I use Sharpies on these, and as you can tell, I hardly had a problem with streaking. And they suck up the ink, but they do stay a little bit wetter on the surface than other pages, because it's a fairly thicker paper in these books. I haven't tried colored pencil yet in them, but they do pretty decent for marker. These would be great for your budget friendly or mid-range markers, because they may take up a lot of ink, but if you don't like a lot of streaking, these are great for that. And I got tired of coloring the entire wall, so I just did dots for those. So that's pretty much it, guys. I'm kind of bummed because I wanted to do Feline February. I go back and forth on it. I guess this would kind of count for it. It's just, I know if I sit there and I say it's still on, then y'all won't hear from me for 2 weeks. And so if you want to color, for it, I guess let's just go ahead and say it like this. If you want to color for it, and I'm going to update the Instagram post with this. This is the hashtag you can use. Feline February 2019. Let me zoom in on that. There we go. That's why I like this desk pad. I write horribly, but if you want to use that tag, feel free. This was the tag I was going to use this month. I'm actually going to go ahead and update the Instagram post for this one with that. We're just going to move ahead and keep doing the tag. Now, I believe Passionista Colorista is also doing a cat-related color along this month, so if you'd rather go over, I mean, you could hashtag them both. So I did not realize that when I had this plan, because of course I was just looking for the alliteration. So I do apologize for that. I should have checked that and realized that there was more and more person doing that. But anyway, I'm going to casually move forward with it. If you feel like you want to use the tag, then go ahead at the end of the month, or as the month goes on. I might, if I see some come up on Instagram, I will feature those and talk about them a little bit here on the channel as I hopefully get some videos going. And I'm going to put a link to Shelleen's Musings, which is Shelleen at the Coloring Book Nook. That is her blog. It will give the entire 2019 color along schedule of the ones that she knows of, not only on YouTube, but on like Instagram and places like that. If I am quiet on here, you can, hang on, make sure I get this right. There we go. I do post every picture I complete. I try to on Instagram, because it really helps the end of the month, like today when I'm trying to do completed pictures. It really helps me be able to go back and figure out which ones were my completed pictures for the month. If I'm quiet on here, check over on Instagram or on Facebook. On Instagram, it's Color Chats and Cats. I think on Facebook it's still coloring chats and cats, but I'm going to put all that in the description so you guys will see that there, because I don't want to write it down and spend 20 minutes trying to look this up. So there's no sense in that. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. I am, like I said, I'm sorry for not posting a lot of videos. Trust me, I'm angry, weirdly enough, on top of everything else, and that doesn't help because I just get angry. I get angry at myself. I get angry at the situation. I don't know. I'm in full on hermit mode, and I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Hopefully, this medicine will help. If it doesn't, I mean, I told my husband last week, this is how bad I feel, guys. I told Brent, I said, I would rather have the gastroparesis than this, because at least when I couldn't eat then, I had 20 other things I wanted to do. Now, in that regard, that's working just fine. Guys, I ate 4 pieces of cheese pizza yesterday. I took one Reglan, I think, when I ate that. I was fine. I didn't take one last night. I usually take maybe one around the middle of the day. I might feel a little nauseous when I wake up first thing in the morning, but I've been like that my whole life. So the thing is, the gabapentin probably was what was causing it, because the more I've went off of it, the better my stomach's been, and you can tell by the scale. But I told him, I said, I'd rather have that at this point than to feel like this. So I'm gonna try this new med and see if we can figure out something else. But I'm telling y'all, if we can't, this month has been awful. January was awful for me, and if I can't get this figured out the next few months, I told my doctor at the last visit, I said, I may have to find a middle ground between the gabapentin and my stomach, because I can't live like this. I'll lose my job. I'll end up stopping videos, and I don't want to do that. I don't even like being gone for a week or whatever, because I know this helps me. This helps me with my anxiety, and helps me in a number of ways. But when I have to force myself to do it, I can't imagine that's really helping in any regard like that. Plus, you guys don't want to watch me sitting here color. Like, I'm forcing myself to color for you guys. I'm not going to do that, because that's, no, not going to do it. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. I am not going to make any promises in February at this point. We don't have a goal sheet for the month, because I know better. I make plans, my body's going to laugh and say, yeah, right, good luck with that. So we're just going to roll with it as is. I do have another flip through Friday to finish. Hopefully I can get that done this next week. And I'd like to finish the uniform picture this month. Other than that, that's about all I'm going to try to aim for. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll be on here soon, and even if it's just a short video letting you guys know what's what, I'll do my best to just not disappear off the face of the earth. But thank you so much for your support and your comments. You guys, that's one of the things that helps me get through times like this. I had a rough year last year, and every time I had a cat pass away, you guys were what kept me going. And I busted into tears in my vet's office yesterday. I had to take Leroy in for his booster for feline leukemia. Did I tell you guys he tested negative for both FIV and feline leukemia? I was very shocked, because I assumed he came from the same litter, or another litter similar to Leroy's. So he did get his feline leukemia vaccination. The FIV vaccination, I know you guys are just staring at a picture. I guess if I'm talking about cats, you might as well look at the cat picture, right? So I did get him the feline leukemia vaccination. The FIV vaccination, one exists, but there's a lot of controversy around it, because the thing is, if you give it to a cat, the cat will test positive for FIV for the rest of their life. So then you're like, did it work? Did it not work? Did the cat still get FIV, or is it just a false positive? So it's not really useful at this point, and I think they're still really trying to do a lot of research in that area. So for now, he did get his feline leukemia and his feline leukemia booster. And he's part of why I felt so down this week, because we got like a big cold snap here. We were really on the edge of single digits, and we've had harder years, and I hope to goodness this is the only one we have. Worried about him all week. He's got a kitty tube out there. I'm going to leave a link to that because that sucker is awesome. It's insulated on the inside. It's kind of round, and it's a perfect outdoor cat house, and he loves that sucker. That and the little microwaveable heating pad I put in there, he's happy as can be. The only thing he wants is food and for me to come out and pet him. Past that point, he will sit in that thing if it's cold and just he did great with it. But of course, I still worry about him. So anyway, I sat here and said I wasn't going to talk about a bunch of stuff, and here I am rambling and flapping my mouth. I'm going to go ahead and sign off here. I actually have some inclination to finish a picture in World of Flowers. I think this might be the one I work on this morning. I'm not trying to force myself to do anything, but if I get in the mood to color something or do something, I will do it. Even if it's just for 15 minutes, then I'll do something else. This was, let me back out. This was part of the Fila pencil demo I did a couple weeks back. I, of course, did like a more inexpensive type paper, mid-range coloring book, and then like Tenderful Enchantments was the one I used in the higher quality paper. And this has been done so far in Fila pencils. I had started it on camera. I finished this much so far. I did run into an issue with one of the Fila pencils where it just, I guess I had dropped it. I'm not going to put it on the manufacturer. I'm pretty sure it was me, and I'm pretty sure I'm the one that dropped it at some point. But I think it shattered the core, so the darkest green here, I mean, I had down to a nub, and it kept popping off, and it frustrated me so bad. I was like, just let me get this part done. But as you can tell, I don't have a whole lot left. I might work on this a little bit this morning. My plan is to use do a light pink background and finish that out with some oranges and different colors like that. And then on this opposite side, use like some purples and some blues and stuff. So I was like, I can do them as a pair. And then I was like, Michelle, are you ever going to actually cut out pages in your World of Flowers book to put on the wall? And I was like, yeah, you got a good point. But I still like the idea, and we'll see how it goes. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see y'all soon. Bye for now.